By and large today, 3 of the 4 matches to have been completed so far lasting just 7 legs. The exception being Ian White's tense 6-5 defeat of John Bowles, but we have witnessed our first upset of the weekend. Michael Smith, the number 13 seed, on his way home after an astonishing 6-1 defeat by Jan Dekker. Second half of the afternoon session now for you, and the renaissance of Paul Nicholson could well continue here. He's up against Cristo Reyes, a man who came through qualifying 7 times on the European Tour over the course of 10 events in 2016. Hasn't had to qualify this time around. He's here by virtue of his elevated position in the Pro Tour Order of Merit, currently standing at number 16. So here he is, without the pressure of having had to do it the hard way, but up against a man who had a very, very eye-catching performance yesterday, beating Ryan Searle 6-2 with an average of 90, but the high point, that's a 1.56 checkout for a 4-1 lead, and from that moment on, Dan Dawson, Paul Nicholson never really looked back.
Yes, and that was the standout moment. One of the standout moments of yesterday in total, really. 140, 156 out for Nicholson to take control of the match and claim his first win on the European Tour for 3 years. If this is really the return of the asset, everybody had best dust off their Paul Nicholson memorabilia. I know I've already got my bedspread out.
Cristo to throw first. Game on!
Paul Nicholson action figures. Paul Nicholson branded cereal. The lot. They've always got an image. But Cristo Reyes, this is a man I continue to be impressed by. The Spartan, the top player from Spain. Now, Cristo was tantalisingly close to breaking into the world's top 32 at the back end of last year. In fact, provisionally, he was in there. But because there's no official sort of when they publish the rankings, he was going into a Players' Championship weekend in that 32nd spot. And then over the course of that weekend, he just dropped out.
134.
But if he wins here, he will go in to the top 32. And we believe he'll be the first Spanish player in history to make that elite top 32 in the PDC.
When you say wins here, you mean this particular match?
Particular game. £1,000 for each round you go in the European Tour nowadays.
Big incentive then for Spartan.
Of course, if he doesn't win, he's got the old Michael Smith conundrum, being given £2,000, they won't go on his ranking. So stay where he is.
Well, he didn't like that, as you can see from the reaction on his face. Don't think he'll have quite given up on this leg just yet, but Reyes can certainly press home his advantage here. And he's down to a finish of 86. Nicholson, a major winner, taking the Players' Championship finals in 2010. Struggling for trebles here at the moment, though.
58.
Doesn't like that either.
So you require 86.
So.
Game shown of first leg. Mr. Reyes.
Well, fair to say that Paul Nicholson never really got going in that leg.
Well, if you're going to have a slow start, do it on your opponent's throw.
Yeah, that's the crumb of comfort for him. It was on Reyes' throw anyway, but can't really afford to miss the trebles too often here on his own throw. He's found one there. And Reyes finding 2.
140.
Well, look, Cristo Reyes is all about progress for him. He turned up a few years ago at the World Championship. Nobody knew who he was. He won through a field of hundreds of people in the Iberian qualifier.
81.
Just some bloke with specs and a weird saltire on the arm of his shirt, which we've all come to learn is the Tenerife flag. We didn't know that at the time. Well, some of us didn't, mainly me. But he's continued to make steady progress. It's not been spectacular by any means, but it took a little while to learn how to get past the last 16 of PDC events. Now he's made a number of quarterfinals. Made 2 quarterfinals this year. He made his first semi-final last year, and he's been knocking on the door of going a little bit further. I think we saw at the World Championship where he averaged 106 in defeat to Michael van Gerwen. That was a record at the time,
awesome.
highest ever losing average at the world.
He's more of a history maker, I think, than Brendan Dolan.
Well, it's a bold claim.
You know, you mentioned his run from the prelims to the last 16 at the World Championship. First, only the second man, I suppose, to do that at the time. So we'll discount that to some extent. But yeah, highest losing average in tournament history, 106.07.
That was surpassed about 6 days later by Raymond van Barneveld.
But at the time,
it was a record. It was a piece of history, as you said. And he may be about to write some more history here and become the first Spanish player to make the top 32. So the problem is, I mean, look, he could also write some history in changing his nickname to the History Maker and become the first PDC player to nick 2 other players' nicknames, having already nicked Devon Peterson's the Spartan. Back up to the treble 20.
Well, Nicholson
Bogey requires 78.
just biding his time here, as you might well imagine. Didn't get beyond the 3rd round of any of the tournaments he qualified for last year in Europe, Cristo Reyes. Let's see how Nicholson fares here, though. Top C1s to level the match.
38. Cristo, you require 90.
Might just have opened the door slightly here for Cristo Reyes. Yeah, he's got the 25. Back to the bull. It's a little bit obscured. But he's found his way through. Stylishly done.
3rd leg, Cristo,
and 95 check out.
Game on.
25-20 bull for the break. And plenty to think about for the assets so far. Yeah, twice got to the 3rd round last year. Here in Hildesheim in the German Darts Championship in October, lost to Jelle Klaassen. And in Munich at the near start of the year, he went down 6-5 to Peter Wright in the 3rd round as well. So knocking on the door of a quarter-final on the European Tour.
41.
Hasn't happened for him just yet. Went close against Mervyn King the year before as well.
Yeah, he keeps putting himself in position
57.
to take the next step, and it just takes him a little while to get there. Once he does, I mean, as I say, it took him ages to make a quarter-final. Now he's made a number of them. But that's the thing with Cristo. Although it's not spectacular progress, it is steady and continual. And there's something encouraging about that. I mean, you look at Mensur. I mean, Mensur, how many semi-finals did he make before he finally made a final? And then he had to make some finals before he learned how to win one.
Yeah.
But it's been steady. And that is a little bit better than steady for Cristo Reyes.
And let's not forget, Reyes is only 29 as well.
Yes, quite.
So he's got time on his side to make that next step, as you say, Dan. Well,
100. Cristo, you require 124.
Oh, it could happen. Well, they'll just set it up now.
it was 9 semi-finals, by the way, from Mensur.
9 plus
Rankings,
2 major semi-finals as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, then he reached his first final in Riesa, which he obviously went on to win as well. And then he reached another final the week later as well.
He did.
Against Van Gogh.
75.
Yeah,
required 40.
We'll see Mensur in action.
Game shown the 3rd leg. Cristo Reyes.
That'll be this evening, but right now Cristo Reyes is looking to put a very swift end to Paul Nicholson's rejuvenated European Tour campaign.
Yeah. Winner of this, by the way, faces either Van Gerwen or Jermaine Watamena, who meet tonight in the 5th match of the evening session.
57.
So these two are in the top quarter of the draw, along with James Wade and Darren Johnson. In that segment, Ian White is in there as well after his win today against John Bowles.
99.
Steady but far from spectacular here from Cristo Reyes, but he's doing more than enough so far.
Well, he's averaging around about that 100 mark, Cristo Reyes. You can't really fault it. And Paul Nicholson, you know, he's not putting anything together. It's certainly not the level of performance we saw from him against Brian Searle yesterday.
40.
That's more like it, though, Matt. Might just give him something to cling to. anything Nicholson can do, Reyes can respond in kind. And there's a bit of pressure here on the Nicholson throw already, even more now.
He's having real problems with his first dart, Paul Nicholson,
81.
which makes things a lot harder. You get that first dart where you want it, then things can get a lot easier. You use it as a guide, you can use it as a wall to bounce into the target you're after. Now, Paul Nicholson, I'll read you the averages for his 3 darts.
92.
Third dart, he's averaging 31. Second dart, he's averaging 31. First dart, 18. Just shows that he's not getting that first one where it needs to be. That's where it needs to be, Paul. And surprise, surprise, it makes things a lot easier.
Well, this has to be the leg, unless Cristo Reyes, well, he won't. But that would have really hurt. That would have been a massive blow. I don't think Nicholson would have recovered from that had he lost that leg. Hasn't won it yet though, 43 needed. Double 16. Next door. And he's off the mark.
Paul Nicholson, 5th leg Cristo to throw first.
Just the one break of throw down, but Reyes with the advantage of throwing first as well, so it's effectively
26.
2 breaks that he needs.
Well, big opportunity at the start of this leg as well. Cristo kicking off 26.
100.
Nicholson capitalising to a point.
85.
Well, last year, at the end of last year, Reyes was one of those players hovering just above the cut-off point for the European Championship on the European Tour Order of Merit. He went into the final weekend in Hildesheim in 30th, and he eventually finished 28th on £9,500.
60.
Thanks to his run to the 3rd round.
Interesting shot we've just had there of Nicholson. He is a player, a lot of players will stand with their foot side on and flush to the hockey, get as close to the board as they can. Nicholson is a guy who has it in angle, a bit like Gary Anderson, but he's not even got it pressed up right against it. I mean, he's an inch further away. Now, I'm not sure if that's a regular thing he does. I don't believe it is. I have seen him. I've watched Paul Nicholson's dart school on the dart show. I've seen him do it. And he's talked about the various stances, but I didn't realise that he actually stood away from the hockey. I'm not sure if he just, maybe he feels that the throw is short, that he's trying to compensate.
Well,
it won't be short, they're all measured with lasers and made off template.
Maybe his shoes are just hurting. Could be something as simple as that done.
97.
I doubt it.
It's possible. Giving himself an opportunity, he's down to a finish on the Reyes throw, looking to break and make it 3-2.
Yeah, and all of a sudden Reyes, it's his turn to struggle to find the big numbers, but he's found the treble 20 with his final dart. Now will he go 16s or 18s? What's his well, maybe he'll just stay straight, but let's just see. Yeah, 18s. Yep, double 16 then.
88.
Well,
leaves the 95. Cristo has taken out the 95. He may take out the 95 again, but it's going to be on double 5. And exactly what he does take out. And Cristo Reyes, after kicking off 26 and giving Paul Nicholson a good opportunity to break back, finds in his second 95 checkout of this one. And Nicholson, well, that moment in the first round against Ryan Searle, that 156 checkout that really let him take control of the game, that was at this stage of the match.
Yeah.
And that feels like a similar moment in this one. And it wouldn't surprise me if Cristo put his foot to the floor right now and turn this into a convincing victory. It's going to have to be some effort from the asset to dig deep and turn this around.
Yeah, it'll hurt. 2 missed darts at doubles for Paul Nicholson there, and another 95 checkout, slightly different route in the end, going for double 5 instead. But yeah, 25-20 bull in the first instance in leg 2, and then it was 25-60 and double 5 for the second attempt. But yeah, Reyes versatile enough to get the job done, and just seems to have rediscovered something. Went off the boil momentarily, but yeah, he's back in business now. And
well, it's the finishing that's been genuinely world class from Reyes, because he's not missed a dart at a double.
35.
4 out of 4, including one on the ball. Is it 20, 16s and double 5? So all around the board, and looking to leave himself 41. He'll have to leave 81, but a potential 11 dart break of throw coming up for a 5-1 lead, and I think Paul Nicholson might be available for commentary tomorrow if we need him.
yeah, 6-1 scorelines have been the order of the day today. They are de rigueur for day 2, and we could have another one here if Nicholson is not careful.
Cristo, you require 81.
That's Reyes' leg to lose here, you feel.
Oh, lovely stuff, double 12 for an 11 dart leg and a 5-1 lead.
Game shot in the
This
6th leg.
is very impressive stuff from Cristo Reyes. 11 darter, the average is now comfortably over 100. We're looking around about the 102 mark at the moment for Cristo Reyes.
Yeah, we saw 3 averages of 100 or more yesterday, didn't we? Paul Harvey was one, Watamena was another.
Who was the other?
I wish I'd not started that now. Just momentarily lost my train of thought. Leave it with me. I'm not going to cheat on this.
26.
Well, Pallet got 99.9, but there was another one of 100 and odd. And it was
99.
Jamie Bain.
Jamie Bain, of course. Yes, he was very good, Jamie Bain.
Yeah, 101.5. It was about 104 at one stage.
And that's, and Jamie Bain, that's 100 over 11 legs, wasn't it?
And also, and there was that 129 checkout late on that really turned the tide in that one. Good match with Dobie yesterday. Dobie, unfortunate that he drew Jamie Bain. It was a tough encounter for him, but one of the seeds in qualifying falling by the wayside at the very first hurdle. Paul Nicholson might well fall at the second hurdle here today.
Another poor first dart from Paul Nicholson there. Gave it the old James Wade pull a silly face after a dodgy dart there. Wade's been doing that a lot lately. So there's another leg where Cristo has kicked off 26. He managed to win the last one, he did that.
Yeah, and he still might get away with it. Yeah, power scoring has clearly deserted Paul Nicholson today. Once again, the first dart does not find a treble. Second one does.
99.
I'm seeing Cristo, despite kicking off in this leg with a 26 and following it with 40, he has still managed to wrestle himself in front, and Nicholson,
60.
well, he's level pegging, and he's having stolen the darts, he's surrendered them again. And Cristo Reyes, you can see this off in 2 visits. Ton 40 ton maybe. What are we looking for now?
Yeah, the rueful look, or the wry smile on Nicholson's face perhaps tells you that he realises the game is potentially up here. He'll keep on going. Maybe one last flourish here. Go on, Paul, stick another one in. But it's maybe too little too late, although you never know.
Oof. Well, he'd taken out 95 in 3 darts on 2 occasions, but he was unable to do it in 2 darts there, which means that he doesn't get a match dart, and Nicholson to stay alive.
Seemed to really look where he was putting his foot there as well, so it's obviously a deliberate thing. Double 10.
40.
Shake of the head.
Cristo, you require
That may be that. 2 match darts for Cristo Reyes. Single 16 for double top. He's been superb on the doubles today. That's the first one he's missed.
46.
Well. You're 5 out of 5.
And when it gets to the crux of the matter,
require 20.
you have 2 opportunities and you give your opponent another go. Double 10 then for Paul Nicholson to extend this match into an 8th leg.
Game shown at 7th leg. Paul Nicholson, 8th leg, Paul to throw first.
20 darts, break of throw.
Game on.
And it's a break back as well. So look, Nicholson will just be telling himself, put a strong leg in here, hold, and it's 5-3. And That's more than respectable. That just gives a little glimmer of hope.
100.
Still a massive task facing him. Got to win all 4 legs against a man averaging 96.
And still he can't find a trouble with that first dart as well.
Oh.
Been a real issue for him today, but not so for Reyes here.
Third 180 for the Spartan as he closes in on a place in the last 16 in the final day of action at the Happybet German Darts Championship and a place in the top 32 in the world. That will be confirmed with victory here against Nicholson, assuming
44.
he can get over the line. Kicks off 180 in this leg, follows it up with a single 20. And a treble 5.
55.
And another single 20.
Well,
Cut it in half, as we call it.
oh, again, first dart.
It just makes it so much harder.
You're just fighting an
41.
uphill battle, aren't you? And 55 and 41. The 2 back-to-back visits we've just had here. It's
96.
edgy 8th leg this one, but Reyes is down to a big finish.
Well, unless Nicholson piles in another maximum, his third of this game, then Reyes doesn't have to go for the bullseye, and that isn't going to happen. So Reyes has got at least 6 darts to take out 170.
100. Cristo, you require 170. $58.
Well, could have been better. Again, Nicholson just clinging on by his fingernails.
Russ Bray taking a massive deep breath. Did you see that?
100.
1-1-2 plays 1-1-6. Reyes looking at 1-1-2 and gets the first go at it for a 6-2 victory and a place in the last 16. Cristo Reyes will get a match dart. And it's a double 16. He's missed 2 match darts so
Game,
far. He will
shot,
not miss a
and
third.
match,
Cristo
Cristo
Reyes.
Reyes.
Flawless finishing for his opening 5 legs that he won. Stuttered a little bit at the end, but gets the job done with a ton plus, and he becomes the first Spanish player in PDC history to make the world's top 32. The more pressing issue, though, is he is through to the last 16 of the German Darts Championship, and he will face either Jermaine Watermaner, the machine gun, or the world #1, Michael van Gerwen. Coming up now, it is the Hurricane Kim Huybrechts looking to book his place in the final day of action as he takes on the story of this weekend, the Brazilian Diogo Portela.
Ich spreche kein Spanisch, aber ich glaube, wird zufrieden sein. Hatte bis zum 6. Leg eine 100% Doppelquote und auch er unterschreibt auf dem Dartboard, dass es heute in dieser Nachmittagssession hier zu gewinnen gibt. Ich glaube, Kevin Weber wird sich freuen, wenn ich ihm sage, dass sein Rucksack gefunden wurde. Den kann er ja vorne abholen.